In order to make a place in our lives for the regular practice of meditation, we can decide to take some time each day for ourselves, a time where we temporarily set aside activities and constant doing, learning in this stillness to observe with a sense of patience and gentleness, learning that we can take the time to be with ourselves this way, not having to change anything or make anything different. We're practicing paying attention to the present moment with non-judgmental awareness. So now allowing the body to become still and sitting in a chair or a cushion on the floor. The back is straight and the shoulders are relaxed. And becoming aware of the fact that you're breathing. Some people focus their attention on the area around the nostrils as the air enters and leaves the body. Others focus on the abdomen as the belly rises and falls with each inhalation and exhalation. Others focus on any sensation on the body as they breathe in and out. This is sometimes called the whole breath. None are better than the other. It's a matter of which focus works best for you. And so paying attention to breathing in this moment. As you pay attention to your breathing, you might find that you're trying to control or change the breath in some way. If so, just letting go of this need, just allowing the breath to breathe itself, witnessing it as it moves in and out. You've perhaps already noticed that your mind sometimes or frequently wanders. If so, a useful way to think about meditation is thinking about having a conversation with a close friend at a sidewalk cafe in Keene. As you talk, another friend might walk by and say hi, momentarily distracting you. You're likely to look up, smile, and say hi back, and then resume your conversation. At other times, somebody else might actually interrupt the conversation. And very likely you might let the person talk for a few seconds and then tell them that right now you're talking with this friend, but you'd be glad to get back to them later. And they would likely say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Sure, call me later." So too with interruptions to your concentration. Just as you would generally be polite and patient towards the interruption of the conversation, so too you can be polite and patient to the interruptions in your concentration while meditating. In this way, you're practicing being kind and patient toward those parts of you that are struggling or not wanting to slow down, to be quiet. Paying attention to the entire in-breath from beginning to end, noticing it as it becomes an out-breath, and then watching the out-breath from its beginning to end, simply breathing in and breathing out, allowing this cycle of the breath to become an anchor for you. The moment when you notice the mind wandering is an important choice point. You might feel frustrated or disappointed that your mind has wandered. However, you could choose to celebrate at this moment your mind is once again aware. You might even smile, and smiling actually releases endorphins into the bloodstream which calm you down. So when you become aware that the mind has wandered, simply smiling, and then enjoying paying attention to the next breath. It really is just that simple. Recognizing the difference between thoughts about breathing and the actual sensations of breathing. The sensation of the flow of breath on the nostrils or upper lip, the sensation of cloth moving against the belly, the sensation of the rising and falling of the abdomen or the torso. No matter how many times the mind wanders, it's always possible to bring it back to this moment, this breath, right now. A useful metaphor for many is remembering lying on the ground, watching clouds floating by. Some clouds are large, while some are small. Some are wispy, and some are like cotton. Some are almost still, while others are moving quickly. Some are light, and some are dark. Some have distinct shapes, and they are all constantly changing. No two clouds the same. So too with the breath. This breath might be short or long. It might be deep or shallow. The breathing might be rhythmic or not. There might be short or long pauses between breaths, or the breath might be continuous. The breath is also constantly changing, like life. Each breath has a short lifetime, and we practice paying attention to the lifetime of each breath with as much clarity as there is in the mind at this time. While you're meditating, if you find yourself feeling distracted by a sound or by a strong sensation on the body, you always have a choice. You may continue to direct your focus on the breathing, or you may choose to make the sound or the sensation the focus of your attention. If you do so, pay attention to the sound or the sensation as you continue to breathe naturally. At some point, you might notice that the sound or sensation changes or disappears, or you might find that it is no longer a distraction. At this point, just returning your attention gently to this breath right now. Meditation is more a state of being than of doing, because there really is nothing to do. If your mind is present, you're simply paying attention to what your mind is naturally noticing about this breath right now. When you realize that your mind has been wandering, in that moment you're present once again, and you simply pay attention to what your mind naturally notices about this breath right now. It's just that simple. Paying attention to each breath with whatever concentration you have at this moment. Ultimately, the practice is not about training the mind to be quiet, and not about achieving some special state. Rather, it's about a persistent and gentle willingness to be open to whatever is happening in the present moment. If we find ourselves aware of judgments, expectations, shoulds, wanting it to be different, simply noticing those thoughts and then moving our attention back to the sensation of the breath. In this way, we are practicing letting go of expectations, letting go of trying to control. As we let go, we find that we experience the present moment with more clarity. With this clarity comes the ability to make more conscious decisions in our daily life. Breathing in, breathing out. This breath, this moment. Over time, the experience of this relaxed state of awareness becomes an anchor that we can return to in our daily life, for one breath, for a few breaths, or longer as we wish. Continuing to direct your awareness to the experience of each in-breath and each out-breath. Whether your focus is at the area of the nostrils, the abdomen, or the whole torso, watching the entire breath from beginning to end, noticing as the breath begins and expands, as it becomes an out-breath, and then as a new breath begins. Whenever you notice that your mind has been wandering, smiling, and then observing the next breath. As we bring this sitting to a close, paying attention to a few more breaths. If thoughts arise, simply note them as thoughts and then gently move to the actual experience of the in-breath and the out-breath. When you're ready, gently opening your eyes and moving your body. As you rejoin your everyday life, be aware of the tendency to cling to this relaxed state of awareness. Notice those thoughts and desires and just letting them go also.